Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is Vroom Vroom. Today we're at Hobbs and Park at auction. There's a classic car and bike auction going on in a couple of days, and there's a couple of lots that have piqued my interest, so I'm going to have a look, and perhaps we'll see at the end of this video if I get one of the bikes that I'm going to show you now. So let's have a little look and see. Right, this is the one we've come here to see, and the one that's piqued my interest online. It's a Series 2. It's a 1981 Honda Goldwing. In need of a little bit of love and attention, but it could be a good buy. So I'm going to go over this in a little bit more detail, see what we can find. Bit of rust on the front bar, just down by the radiator. The chrome side brackets are rusty. A hole in the bottom that needs replacing. I just noticed down the bottom of the radiator there is a coolant leak as well, so it's going to need a whole new radiator. 1980 according to the sheet. So there's a couple of bits on here that obviously I'm not going to be able to check if it's running, because it's looks like it's been standing a while. The exhausts are just heat damaged. I did see the paperwork for this a couple of weeks ago, and the starter motor has been replaced a couple of times, but the engine itself looks pretty clean. Coming across, that's going to need replacing. And the worst bit cosmetic wise is on the top where the tank is. I was reading somewhere on a forum that a lot of these were leather. That one's been painted over. It's fortunately just been stuck where it's been sitting in the elements. So I'm going to have a closer look at it and just check things like the oil. And tops of the plugs. Just get an idea of how the maintenance was on it. It might be give me a better idea to if this is going to be a worthwhile bid or not. Those of you who do know about the Honda Goldwings know that the timing belts are in here. You do need regular maintenance, and that's what's concerning me. If one or those has snapped, then they're going to be in a real lot of trouble. But I don't know if these are interference engines. Just looking in there, the spark plug actually looks pretty decent. So it does look like it has had some love. So come down to the oil. See, I'm not so sure now. I think I can smell a bit of fuel in there. If there is fuel in the oil, that could be an indicator that there has been a timing belt snap and there's fuel getting past the valves. We'll have a look and see. 47,000 miles. There's a lot of history on this bike that comes with it. Fork seals are okay. Look at that for tyres. cracked. Severely cracked. Needs instant replacement. But we'll see where the bidding goes on this one. Just to make things really easy, they've put all the other bikes in a row. I think that one might be a little bit too far gone for me. 108.50. Looks in pretty decent nick. We're going to come back and have a look at that in a second. Nope. Kind of been there, done that with that. That's a beautiful old machine. What is it? It's an AJS. Yamaha, that's a 750. Yep, 750. Original tax disc going back to 96. Tank needs a respray. Just to me, just doesn't look like a 750. It's almost just a little bit too timid for that size engine. When you come up close with the tank, you get a lot better idea what's going on. Twin carburetors, 4-cylinder. Just not a massive fan. We're going to go back to the Suzuki. This really is a bit of a beast. And originally, when this auction came up, this was the first one that I actually saw. That piqued my interest a little bit. Fork seals seem okay. Twin discs on the front, and the vent drilled. Sorry. Engine is caked, but the bike just looks like it's been put away for a long time. Some surface rust there. The tin foil might get rid of some of that, but I don't think it's going to eliminate it. Right, so the ones that I don't think that I'm going to be getting are this, because it's a little bit too far gone. That is a real project. I think that will take someone very, very brave to get on with that one. The Suzuki and the sidecar are really quite... Oh, it's a Yamaha. It's an interesting bike with a sidecar. Can't quite see the wife getting in there. She could do a bit of a Flintstones impersonation and pedal us along. And these ones, GPZ, wow, that brings back memories. Look at that. That really is a engine out, frame dipped restoration, and you haven't even got all the parts. Well, it only looks like we're missing a tank at the moment, but I wouldn't care to bet on that needing a little bit more than just a petrol tank. Such a shame. Never seen with mostly bikes on this, but these are incredible cars. My neighbour used to have one in black, and he had the spare wheel on the boot with a couple of straight through exhausts off of the 3.5 Rover V8 that sat under the bonnet, and it was a beast. It really was. And the good thing about these were every panel on there just bolts on. So if you did stack it, you could just go down the breaker's yard and pick up a couple more panels. Don't think they're quite that accessible now, but look inside to this, that original radio. It's a shame it's an automatic, but these really were an absolute beast if you got the right one. Can't even tell off of that whether it's a 3.5. Oh, wow. A mate of mine had one of these as well. He had the V12. I remember that the alternator went. What a job that was, fixing an alternator on one of these. You've got an experience of what these are and how they work and how that engine is crammed into that engine bay, then you'll realise what I'm saying. What is this? 5.3. Well, it's a beast. They did used to rot, but the later ones I think they sorted out with alley panels, and this one on the rear. Panels. Yeah, bit of rot down there, but that's not too bad. Bonnet needs lacquers coming off. That could be a right nice car. And another one just going back to back in the day kind of snapshot. The Manta. Now these really were a beast. Even now I think this is going to reach pretty good money. It's got the original tyres and wheels inside, but this was, you had one of those, you really were doing well. And one of my mates had one of these. I'll never forget his alarm, that when he came to the house, just clicked on the alarm. It was the first time that you actually saw windows go up on their own, and that was quite an oddity back then. I know most cars do it now with the remotes, but back then that really was space age stuff. But this, it'd be interesting to see what this sells for, because there's a bit of a project there, but wow, get your teeth into that and get it sorted and that'll be a beautiful car. So this is another one from my misspent youth, Mark III Cortina, the one that I always wanted and never owned. And to think back in the day these were 50 quid each. I think this is going to go for a few more quid than this. There are different ones. The GSX, I think it was a GSX, had the sunken speedo and clocks and the round headlights. I think it was a twin headlights. I preferred the square headlights one. Rough style wheels, they were on 13-inch rims, and I think if these were the same as the Mark IV and the Mark V, they used the Salisbury axle, which was a one-piece axle going across. Always used to suffer from bushings, but these used to rust on the inside of the back doors. Just in there, look at this one, spotless. But it's a base model though, so even though it's desirable, it's not the one that I would get. Beautiful. Always wanted one of these as well. I've seen the pictures of this online and it does look stunning, even though it was done in a location with a very nice background, but it's probably the colour to have. And I am a bit of a Jag fan. Last one I had actually for 13 years. So I sold it to my brother, who destroyed it. But this is a really, really nice car. Well, I've just come back from the auction, and really does show why you should try and visit these places in person and not to just rely on pictures, because you do see a hell of a lot more when you're there and able to have a poke around and a look. The Honda Goldwing disappointed me slightly. Thought I might be able to smell petrol in the oil. I tried to move it out a little bit and realised that at least the front wheel's locked. It could be that the back wheel is as well. And while this is just probably just a consequence of being parked up for a few years, it's just a little bit disappointing that that's just adding to the list of problems that I've already seen on the bike. We'll have to see what it goes for, but yeah, I think it's going to have to be cheap, because I can see that being quite a lot of money to repair. And also, when I was having a closer look at the frame, it looked like someone had brushed the black on rather than it was a factory job. So just wondering, one, what's underneath it, and two, just wasn't done brilliantly. So it's never going to look brilliant unless you take everything out, dip the frame, and then powder coat it, which is something that I wasn't really going to do. It wasn't on the cards. The other bike I was looking at, which was the 750, again slightly disappointing in person. There's an issue with the seat that could be an easy fix, but what just not irritated me more, but I couldn't get into the oil to have a look, because the cap had been put on so tight that no matter what I tried, I couldn't do it. And obviously I wasn't taking tools with me to an auction, so I couldn't have a look in there just to see the state of the oil and have a poke around. So that was a little bit disappointed as well. So two bikes there, both that I may still put a bid on, but I'm not sure at the moment. But you will find out if I put a bid on either of them, or if I indeed won either of them, around now. I thought I'd just do a quick auction update. The bad news was it ended up with nothing. I just must be out of touch with these prices of stuff, because to me the prices that they went for was just way too high. The Goldwing, which I think I mentioned in the video, 2 locked wheels, petrol in the oil, and painted frame, and an unknown engine, still ended up going for £750, and I had that at about £500, to be fair, with everything that was wrong with it and the risk taken. And the Suzuki GS850, which I was very keen on, went up for, sold for I think £1,300, which again with an unknown engine is just so much money. And the US custom, even the custom bike that I was not very keen on, but I was by the end of the day, because I thought it was the only one that was going to go for decent money, but that still ended up going for £800. So nothing for me there. But I do have another plan. So I'm looking for a custom bike. I'm going to stick a couple of feelers out. Custom, I mean vintage. So we'll have a look, and I'll update you shortly. Bye for now.